So the Golden State Warriors won Game 3 of the NBA Finals last night. The Warriors won 110-102. The Warriors now have a 3-game lead in the NBA Finals. And this series is over. The Cavs are not going to win the NBA Finals. No team has ever won the NBA Finals when they started down 3-0 or 0-3. 0 wins to 3. So because the series is over, because I have decided the Warriors are going to win this thing, it's now 3-0. Because of that, the new narrative to make the NBA Finals interesting is this. Who will win the NBA Finals MVP? Who will be the Finals MVP? That is the remaining narrative left for us to learn. Because we know, look, LeBron can't beat this team. The series is over. But that's an interesting wrinkle. Who will be the Finals MVP? Will it be LeBron? Will he lose and still win MVP? Will it be Kevin Durant or Steph Curry or Klay Thompson? For me, the answer is very, very simple. For me, it's very obvious who the NBA MVP is. I'll get to that in a moment. But for now, I want to remind you that everybody said that Steph Curry should be the NBA Finals MVP after he put up 16 points in the fourth quarter in Game 2. He had a really good performance. He played really well in Game 2. But the problem is, in Game 3, Steph Curry did not show up. In Game 3, Steph Curry only had 11 points. Steph Curry had 11 points in an NBA Finals game. He was 3 for 16 shooting. That's only 18% if you're doing the math at home. Steph Curry only made 1 3-pointer in Game 3 of the NBA Finals. He was 1 for 10 from three-point range. You cannot give the NBA Finals MVP to that guy. It just doesn't work. It's not possible. It's not allowed. Steph Curry had a bad night. Not to mention, not only did Steph Curry have a bad night, Klay Thompson also had a bad night. In Game 3, Klay Thompson was only 4 for 11 with 10 points. So that right there says it all. Klay Thompson's not the MVP. Steph Curry is not the MVP. Because again, Steph Curry had a bad night. And Klay Thompson had a bad night. Yet despite all of that, the Warriors still won. Why did the Warriors still win? Because the Warriors last night had Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant last night had 43 points. He shot 65%. He had 13 rebounds and 7 assists. Kevin Durant, like he's done all series, Kevin Durant has been the one solid factor for the Golden State Warriors. The one thing you could rely on all of these playoffs and every single one of these finals games has been Kevin Durant. And Kevin Durant showed up to play in a big way. He performed at his highest level in Game 3, and he led the Warriors to a victory. And I want to point something out about Kevin Durant. I want to prove to you the value of Kevin Durant. See, 3 years ago, before Kevin Durant showed up in Golden State, before Kevin Durant was a member of the Golden State Warriors, if both Steph Curry and Klay Thompson had a bad night shooting, guess what? The Warriors aren't going to win. You could not, before Kevin Durant got there, you could not win a game if both Klay Thompson and Steph Curry had a bad night shooting. But then they added Kevin Durant. And Kevin Durant is, without a shadow of a doubt, the difference. Kevin Durant is the reason that the Golden State Warriors are a dynasty. Kevin Durant is the difference between a really, really good team, a team that could win 1 or 2, maybe 3 championships. The difference between a really good team, probably 2 championships, right? Because something was going to happen. The Rockets would have beaten them this year if they didn't have Kevin Durant. So Kevin Durant was a difference between a really good team in Golden State and Kevin Durant makes them a dynasty. Kevin Durant is the difference between a good team and a dynasty. And forget the NBA Finals for just a second. Again, without Kevin Durant, the Warriors would not be here. Throughout the playoffs, throughout the entire season, throughout the season and the playoffs, both Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, both of them have struggled with injuries, and both of them have struggled with inconsistent play. And again, I want to point out, the Rockets took them 7 games. Without Kevin Durant, the Warriors do not get past the Houston Rockets. It just wouldn't have happened. So again, before Kevin Durant, the Warriors were a really good team, but they were beatable. In fact, we did see them lose. We saw them lose to the Cavs. But then when you add Kevin Durant, bingo, Oh, the Warriors are suddenly an unbeatable dynasty. The difference is Kevin Durant. So what about this series? Why is Kevin Durant the most valuable player of this series? I've proven to you that, okay, he's probably the most valuable player on their team. At least you add him, he pushes them over the top. But why is Kevin Durant the NBA Finals MVP this season? It's very simple. And look, I understand people struggle to give Kevin Durant recognition because I know there's a team with 4 stars on it. And how do you pick one guy being more valuable than the other 3 when you have 4 NBA All-Stars? Here's how you do it. Kevin Durant is the reason that the Golden State Warriors are 3-0 in this NBA Finals series. It's very simple. It's very simple. In the NBA Finals, Kevin Durant is shooting 56%. He's averaging 32 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists. That is the best on the Golden State Warriors. And mind you, by the way, in the regular season, Kevin Durant was averaging 26 points. And in just the regular playoffs, Kevin Durant is averaging 29 points. But he stepped it up another level when he got to the NBA Finals. Yeah, for the NBA Finals, Kevin Durant is averaging now 29 points. So he went from 26 points all season to 29 points during the regular season. Did I say percent? I meant points. And now in the NBA Finals, he's shooting 30. He's averaging 31 points. I'm all over the place. And what's interesting is all season, regardless of playoffs or postseason, Kevin Durant shot 48% all season. Then suddenly he gets to the NBA Finals and his shooting percentage goes up. His shooting percentage is now 56%. So Kevin Durant got to the NBA Finals. He started scoring more points. He went from 26 to 31. Then he got to the NBA Finals and he got more efficient. He went from 48% shooting to 56% shooting. Kevin Durant is more efficient in the finals. He's scoring more in the finals. Klay Thompson averaged 20 points in the regular season. Klay Thompson's only averaging 18 points in the NBA Finals. Klay Thompson shrunk. Or Steph Curry. You know, Steph Curry has proven his lack of value. See, if Steph Curry was really that valuable, they would have struggled to win last night. Oh, but Steph Curry had a bad night and they won without him. That's terrible. That's awful. Again, I repeat, Steph Curry in Game 3 was 3 for 16. He only had 11 points and was 1 for 10 from threes. Steph Curry had 1 3-pointer in Game 3. That's his whole game. That's his best thing is 3-pointers. And if you can't rely on him to make 3-pointers, well, what can you do with Steph Curry? He had 11 points. And what about that Game 2? Everyone wants to say, you know, Steph Curry had a legendary Game 2. He had 16 points in the fourth quarter. Let's take a closer look at that. So in Game 2, Steph Curry was 11 for 26. He shot 42% and he had 33 points. What's interesting is if you look at Kevin Durant in the very same game, he did have fewer points, sure. Kevin Durant only had 26 points to Steph Curry's 33, excuse me. But Kevin Durant was 10 for 14. Kevin Durant shot 71% in Game 2. Kevin Durant was more efficient, and Kevin Durant scored all those buckets to get them a lead in the fourth quarter. Remember, before Steph Curry went off in the fourth quarter, they had to get there. They had to get to a place where they were up 8 with 6 minutes left. So Steph Curry might have gone off in the fourth quarter, and he extended their 8-point lead to a much bigger lead. But the reason why they got that big lead initially, the reason why the Warriors were winning at the end of Game 2 was because Kevin Durant delivered all game long. But you can say Steph Curry always scored all these points. Yeah, Steph Curry scored 16 points in garbage time. Kevin Durant was efficient when it mattered most in the NBA Finals Game 2. And maybe people are out there arguing, it should be LeBron James. Look, LeBron James is the most valuable player on this court. How can you argue LeBron James is not the NBA Finals MVP? Look, LeBron's amazing. I cannot give the NBA Finals MVP to a player who did not win the finals. Right, wrong, or indifferent, I can't. Oh, he was so valuable, they didn't win the series. No, I'm sorry. Like, it may be dumb, but that's how I am. I'm not going to give it to a guy who loses. I'm not going to give the NBA Finals MVP to somebody who loses. And the truth is, LeBron James has had his chances. You may not like to hear that, but LeBron James has had plenty of opportunities to win games in this series. In Game 1, 4.5 seconds left. Did LeBron James dribble the clock out and shoot the last shot? No, he did not. LeBron James passed the ball to George Hill. And I get that's controversial, but what's not controversial about one of the games is that in game 3, LeBron James had the ball, down 1 point with 3 minutes left, and LeBron James did not deliver. The Cavaliers had the ball, down 1 point, 3 minutes left, and the Cavaliers lost, which means that LeBron James did not deliver in crunch time. Game 3, LeBron James was great. LeBron James shot 46%. He had 33 points. But at the end of the game, when it mattered most, Kevin Durant made the memorable shot. Kevin Durant made the memorable shot at the end of game 3. LeBron James did not. LeBron James had a good three-pointer, but he needed more, and he didn't have more. So I repeat, let's go back to game 1. It's now between Steph and Kevin Durant. No one's going to vote for Klay Thompson. I'm sorry, he's not even the best scorer in his own backcourt, so it's not going to happen. And it's not LeBron James. So now it's come down to, is it Steph Curry or is it Kevin Durant for the NBA Finals MVP? Well, in game 1, Steph Curry shot 47%, had 29 points. He had a better game than, Steph Curry had 29 points, 47%, a better game than Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant only had 26 points, shot 36%. But the rest of the series goes to Kevin Durant. Game 2, 26 points for Kevin Durant, 71%. Game 2, Steph Curry, 33 points, 42%. And in game 3, Steph Curry only had 11 points, shot 18%, while Kevin Durant had 43 points, shot 65%. Kevin Durant is more efficient. Kevin Durant is more consistent. Kevin Durant averages 32 points and 56%, while Steph Curry only averages 24 points and 38%. Kevin Durant is more efficient than Steph Curry in this series, and he's scoring more points than Steph Curry. Kevin Durant is the NBA Finals MVP. Kevin Durant, hear me out. Let me remind you, Kevin Durant is the difference between a really, really good Golden State Warriors team and an NBA dynasty that could win 3. They're on their verge of the second, maybe 4 championships. When Kevin Durant joined the Golden State Warriors, that was the moment everybody goes, "Oh crap, we can't win the championship this year." Because before KD, everyone thought, "Oh, you know what? We have a shot." We saw that if Steph Curry gets hurt, maybe we can win a championship, something like that. You could remove Steph Curry from this team. Kevin Durant's still going to deliver like he did last night. When Steph Curry barely played at all. He barely showed up. And Kevin Durant led this team to victory. Kevin Durant, like it, love it. You love Kevin Durant. You don't love Kevin Durant. You hate Kevin Durant maybe. But you have to admit, Kevin Durant is the most valuable player in these NBA Finals. Thank you so very much for watching. Remember, you can subscribe to Strong Opinion Sports on iTunes, on SoundCloud, and on YouTube. You can find the full entire hour-long podcast on YouTube, as well as my best, most interesting clips. If you like Strong Opinion Sports as much as I do, help me grow this podcast by telling your friends about this show. Share it on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, whatever it is. Help me grow this podcast by telling your friends. Thank you so much, and have a great day.